is up, you guys? Welcome back to the MaxBang. My name is Max, and I like to bring a little joy into your life. MaxBang is a 25 to 30-minute hangout. Let's call it a half-hour hangout. Grab a cup of coffee, and how's your mother? Been a weird week for old Max. Brittany's been out of town. Shout out to Brittany. She's in Miami right now at Ultra Music Festival, dancing her little took-us-off. Dancing a little took-us-off. Hi, baby girl. Hope you're having a great time. She's with the other Ultra Angels. The Ultra Music Festival is a music festival that, it's like, it's fucking awesome. Growing up, we never went to music festivals. That feels like a California thing or something I just never knew about until California. Like Coachella and Ultra and Snow Globe. I've been to all these music festivals now for a couple of reasons. One, a lot of my friends tend to work at them, oddly enough. A friend of mine does operations for these big festivals, so he's running security or bracelet check or whatever. And so I've been to a couple of those, and it's super fun if you like music and you like concerts. I don't like concerts at all. I like... I don't have particularly good taste in music, but I like music. For the longest time, I liked music that made me happy. Music that you would put on at a party. That was sort of that's how I explained my taste in music. So essentially anything that was upbeat. Is it a banger? That's a really good sort of litmus test for me. Obviously, I like sad music when I want to feel sad. I think scientifically it's been proven that the best music there is, or the best music that there ever has been, is the Beatles. So I think that's a scientific fact. Other than that, though, I'm sure a lot of music is up for debate. I hate mumble rap. I think it's just cool. I used to really like techno, dance, house music, but I wouldn't like to dance to it. I would just like to play beer pong to it. We used to have this table. Oh my God. Have I ever told you guys about Quint Ave? Oh, jeez Louise. Talk about... That's going to get into a whole other... We'll get into that in a second. We used to be playing beer pong all the time, and I would like to put on music because it would get me amped up and get me excited, and then I would want to play more beer pong. Growing up, we never went to music festivals because we didn't have any in the Northeast, or at least none that I knew of. And I didn't go to a lot of concerts because I was too young and I couldn't really dance, so I felt really weird about going to a concert. My very first concert ever, Janet Jackson. You like that? I was a very little boy. And her opening act was Usher. I mean, talk about before my time, like the coolest concert I could have thought of, accidentally, inadvertently going to. And it was fucking awesome. How did I end up going to a Janet Jackson concert when I was like a 8-year-old or whatever? Like, I have no idea, but I thought it was awesome. And I thought Usher actually put on a better show than Janet. He was more, I'm saying like a better performance. Janet had more she had more bangers, better songs. But Usher had really shiny pants, and he was like dancing around, like incredible choreo. And yeah, Usher was sick. And I remember saying to my aunt, I think my aunt took me, I was like, man, that guy in the flashy pants, he's cool. It was also weird to go to the makeup of the attendees was a little racially, not very racially diverse. It was a lot of like, I stuck out as a short little white boy. I stuck out quite a bit in the Janet Jackson concert. Whatever, it could be worse. It was really fun. I also went to an AC/DC concert. Very, very, very fun, even though it was a little bit of a weird situation. Like, we had a whole group of people going, and then one by one, all of my friends said they couldn't go, and then they were replaced by other people. And so by the end of it, it was like me and separate group of friends that I wasn't really that tight with. So it was very, very odd. It was a little weird because it was piece by piece. It wasn't all at once. So it was like, it was like John can't come, so now Evan's gonna go instead of John, and now Mike can't come, so now Scott's gonna go instead of Mike. Like, and then by the end of it, it was a whole different group of people. I think we may have inadvertently just solved the paradox of the ship of Theseus. Is it Theseus? I think it's Theseus. The idea is if you have a ship and ships get broken, everything, ships get fucked up. That's the way of the world. So if you replace one piece of the ship, for example, one board from the outside of the ship, it breaks, you replace it. Now in theory, it's the same ship, right? But it's also a new piece. So the sort of logic puzzle is if you have a ship and you replace every single piece of it, at what point does it become just a brand new ship? I think we just solved it because I had one group of friends and we replaced every single friend with another friend, and we went to the same concert, we did the same thing, and it felt completely weird. So I guess we're solving riddles or logic paradigms on the MaxBang. Humble brag, no big deal. Just a bunch of fucking wicked smart asses. If you want to get smarter, you listen to the MaxBang. So let me just look it up so I don't sound like a fucking moron. In the metaphysics of identity, the ship of Theseus is a thought experiment that raises the question of whether a ship, standing for an object in general, that has all of its components replaced remains fundamentally the same object. Fucking brain teaser, dude. So anyway, look at us. We're getting wicked fucking smart. Anyway, so shout out to Brittany. She's at Ultra Music Festival. Oh, so that's what I was saying. I don't like to go to music festivals. My experience has been a little weird. I don't like crowds these days. I don't like being outside all day in the sun and like not drinking enough water, just like walking around aimlessly and like. But I bet if you're a fucking kid, if you're in high school or college, I bet it's the absolute most fun thing you can do. We used to have music concerts, at least in college, all the time, and they'd be outside. We have your spring weekend. We had some awesome performers, and for a predominantly white Connecticut sort of prissy school that I went to, we had Ludacris perform. We had Common. I think we had The Roots a couple times. I'm pretty sure we had Snoop for a minute. And it was pretty awesome. Like our lineups were pretty sick. And we would stay outside all day and just rage. So anyway, Brittany's been out of town for about 3 or 4 days. She'll be out of town for another 3 or 4 days. And then big news, when she comes back, the same day, my baby adult sister, Julia Ricky, is going to come visit me for a couple of days. Ricky's coming to town, boys and girls. Fucking baddest motherfucker on the planet. So Ricky's coming into town next week. Very, very excited about that. It's always fun to have, your family visit you. Even if... Actually, they've come out a couple of times. It's really, really sweet. I really, really appreciate it. They... One time they came out and sort of rented a whole, like a house and like an Airbnb or whatever. And so we just got to like hang in a house and like do family dinners and stuff like that. They came out for my birthday. That's what it was. Actually, no, it wasn't for my birthday. We just did a birthday dinner, but it was a month after my birthday because that's the way they're planning set up. But they called, 2 of my friends who live out here, and we had like a big old birthday dinner, and it was really, really fun. So yeah, they've come out and visited a couple of times. It's fun. If you have any suggestions of things I should do with Ricky next week, please hit him up. Leave me in the comments below. What do you like to do with your siblings? My favorite thing to do with Ricky is just to fucking hang out, honestly, like watch TV. She's also very into superheroes, which is very convenient. I wonder where she got that from. Jesus Louise. Hopefully she hasn't seen Shazam yet. I'll try to take her to see Shazam. I don't really want to take her to see Dumbo, the live action one. It looks fucking weird. When they're doing, I don't know. Did you guys see the trailer for the Lion King live action or Aladdin live action? I don't know why the hell they're doing this shit. It's fucking weird. I think that the live action animal animated mouth stuff that weirds me out a little bit. This is coming as someone who like lives and dies by superhero movies, so take everything I say with a grain of salt. But I don't know. Like, I don't want to see. I want to see an animated movie as an animated movie. I'm not dying to see it reanimated, like in real life stuff. Jungle Book weirded me out. What do you guys like to do with your siblings? Let me know in the comments below. A couple things I wanted to talk about this week. It's been a good week. Hopefully you guys had a good week last week. 'Cause we're about to have a fucking awesome week this week. It's almost April. Jesus friggin' cripies. I really like April Fool's Day pranks, although I've never had a good one. I think pranks feel a little like sort of mean, so I don't really like doing them or pulling them on people. The worst pranks off the top of my head that I can think of, the one where they make up a fake lottery ticket and then they like tape the lottery numbers from the day before and they pretend they make someone think they won the lottery. If anybody ever did that to me, that's the end of our friendship, relationship, whatever. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, you know how fucking mad I would be if somebody did that to me? I would first of all, I'd throw them out a window. Then I would never trust another person ever again. Then I'd probably move to the woods. I'd get myself a nice storage container and then convert it into a living facility, and then just make sure that I lived in the woods enough that no one would ever see me again, so I'd never talk to a human unless I wanted to, but close enough that I could just go to a liquor store whenever I needed. Or maybe the first step is to rob a liquor store. Rob a liquor truck. Hijack a liquor truck. There we go. Then you got barrels and barrels of... Well, then I guess you're sort of committed to just drinking whiskey neat, which is how I drink it anyway, so it's perfect. I'm in good shape. So step one is you hijack a whiskey delivery truck. Yeah. Then that's like your last step in civilization, and wouldn't you know it, perfect. You get your perfect getaway vehicle, and then you have your perfect hiding spot till the cops just make it a cold case, and then they just open and shut case. So like, forget it, you got away. It's the perfect crime. The perfect crime, the real perfect crime, is to steal someone's paddleboard while they're paddling on it. You swim up to them, you knock them off, you jump on the paddleboard, you paddle away. What the fuck are they going to do about it? Open and shut case. Shout out to everyone eating alone. Shout out to everyone in the office. Shout out to everyone checking out the MaxBang. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Make sure to hit the like button right now, because that does help me these videos a lot. Office tip, that's right. This week's tip for all you poor Excel cubicle monkeys. Oh, God, you poor fucking guys. This tip comes sort of as an inspiration from a friend of mine who was wanting to not talk to someone in the office, but then it led into a bigger discussion about how you enter and how you exit. Your office probably has a front door with a receptionist or with someone greeting you there or whatever, or greeting someone who doesn't work there. So if I'm going in the office, I go in and like, hi, can I help you? Like, are you here to see someone? That is the entrance that most people would also probably use who work in the office. That is a huge mistake. Your goal for this week is to find another means of exit, another way to get out. And what I mean by that is specifically your desk. Best case scenario, you find like a side door, like a garage door, or like a door through like a fire door that doesn't have an alarm on it, or something like that, or a secondary means of egress, whatever. What you want to look for is a way you can get from the outside of the building straight to your desk without being seen by anyone. Once you find it, it is absolutely invaluable. Because if you're ever late to the office, you want to make sure that no one knows. And the way you do that is you use your second, your secret door, and then you sneak in, and then you get right to your desk, and you get all your shit, and then you go right, and then as long as you're leaving your cubicle, you're good to go. Nobody ever has any idea how long you've been there or how long you haven't been there. Bonus points is if you find a spot. This is what I used to do. We had, not only did we have a front door to our office and like a back door that sort of just, nobody used it because it didn't like get you anywhere. It was just like a fire door. But we also had like a door sort of in the middle that I figured out what key was for that one. I made myself a copy of it, and then it was perfect because no one thought of using the door. So I would sneak in that door, and then there was like a little hallway, and then I would put all my shit like around the corner. So I'm just wearing my shirt and tie or whatever. I don't have my jacket. I don't have my briefcase. I don't have my backpack. I don't have like any of the shit that I would normally be carrying around with me. So then you're just walking, and everyone's like, "Oh, he's been here all day." Then you have to go back and get it one by one. And if anyone stops you, like, "Hey, Max, why are you holding a helmet and a coffee cup?" And like, "Oh, I forgot in the car. I had to grab it, blah, blah, blah." It highly, highly recommend it. All right, so now I want to get to a couple of comments from last week. Again, leave your comments below if you need me to touch on anything. Amanda says, "Thanks for the motivation. I'm currently at a job that I don't hate, but I don't love. Shout out, join the club. Recently applied to pursue a career in law enforcement, and I get to take my testing on Monday for it. Break a leg, knock on wood. Go get 'em. Been trying to get back into shape as well. The road feels so long." Oof, that's such a constant. Like, oh man, I want to get in good shape, but blank. What I would say to you is this. I'm reminded of the famous Bruce Lee quote. You know who Bruce Lee is? He's the greatest martial artist on the face of the earth. He said, as I remember, he said, "I don't pray for an easy life, or do not pray for an easy life. Pray for the strength to endure a difficult one." It's a wicked profound, kid. Bruce Lee is really cool and a badass motherfucker. I think he also took that quote from the Ovid, maybe? There's an old fable of Atlas, the titan who held up the sky. And he said, I pray to Zeus not to lighten my burden, but to give me broader shoulders. And so a couple of things right on that right away. It's a little weird. That's a little weird for Atlas to say, because it wasn't like Atlas was a titan, and titans rose up against the gods, and then when the gods beat them off, Zeus imprisoned all the titans in different ways, and holding up the sky was a means of torture for Atlas. Like Prometheus was tortured forever by that eagle eating his liver or his dick or whatever. So for Atlas to say, like, I pray for broader shoulders to be able to hold up the sky better, kind of a weird thing to say. And also, while we're on the topic, if you want, what Zeus said, if you want broad shoulders, you're going to want to do lateral raises like that. You're going to want to do military press or a handstand push-up. Barbell military press is slightly preferable. I would say pull-ups, or just wide grip pull-ups, or anything that targets the lats. That's what's really going to get you those broad back shoulder that you're really looking for to hold up the sky. The only other Atlas fable that I can remember is Hercules. On one of the labors, he had to get some... The fuck did he have to get? He had to do all that shit. 12 labors, whatever it is. He had to get some apples from a garden, whatever. And these chicks wouldn't let him get the apples. And the girls who were hiding the apples, they were Atlas's daughters, I think. So he goes to Atlas and he's like, "Hey, I'll hold the sky up for a second if you could just grab me a couple of those apples, because I got to give them to this other guy." And Atlas is like, cool, 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 cool. So Hercules holds up the sky, and Atlas goes and gets the apples. And then he comes back and he's like, oh, he tried to pull a fast one. He goes, yo, if you want, I can deliver the apples for you. But in reality, he would just leave Heracles to hold up the sky forever. So he was trying to pull a fast one. And then Hercules, whatever the fuck his name is, realized that it was he was getting one pulled over on him, and I'm just like, okay, cool. Just hold up the sky for a second so I can adjust my my fur on my shoulders, because this thing's like pinching my back, and if I'm gonna be standing here forever for the rest of my life, then I better like adjust my cloak. And then Atlas apparently fell for it. Even as a little kid, I was always like, this seems like pretty. Like, really, the guy Atlas had the thought that he was like gonna trick the guy, and then he didn't realize that he was getting tricked. Kind of a weird, I don't know. Maybe the explanation is the story is told in a very simple, almost dumb way to illustrate the lesson, and the lesson is like, if you're trying to pull a fast one, watch out, because somebody else might be trying to pull a fast one on you. Or maybe the lesson is, watch out always be on the lookout if someone's trying to like trick you. And if you're trying to trick somebody else, watch out, because they might be double trying to trick you. Valerie, I was in an open office, no cube walls, but 3 desks in a room. My department manager was taking a break and watching boat videos on YouTube. Weird. And somehow in the sidebar, recommended thing was someone deep-throating a dildo. So of course he clicked on it and watched it. Much respect. And the last one, Jerica. I work with middle school kids, so I really enjoy watching this. During my break, I have a tendency to procrastinate. Middle school kids, good Lord. I was such a twerp in middle school. In middle school, I was the least sure of myself I've ever been in my life. What a weird time. You know, you look back on stuff that's so important to you, and it couldn't matter any less. And I almost wonder, like, what that must be like, seeing all these kids so wound up over stuff that's so unimportant, trying to be so slick about things when they're obviously not. You know, that's like like Atlas tried to pull like a middle school trick. You know, this will be so slick. No, he'll never see it coming. It's like, dude, we know exactly what you're doing. We can see it coming from a mile away. Like, don't be a friggin' tough guy. This is absolutely absurd. I'll tell you one middle school story, and then because middle school is a wild time for old Max. It was a wild time for anybody. There was once a girl who apparently had a crush on me. Take a number. But in middle school, it was still at the point where I was like, do you like her? And I was like, no. So that was my sort of default. I didn't like any girls because I didn't know what that meant, and I didn't want to embarrass myself, and I didn't want to, you know, I maybe I'd kissed a girl, and maybe I'd fooled around with a couple of girls or whatever, but it wasn't like I knew what I was doing, and I was just freaked out. And so my default was still, do you like her? No. So there was this girl who had a crush on me, and her friend was trying to talk me into dating her. You know, why don't you date her? She's cool. She's super nice, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, dude, I don't want to date her. I'd appreciate it if you just fucking left me alone. Like, stop talking to me. And we would sort of just go back and forth, and I'd say no, and then the blah, blah, blah. And then eventually the fucking kid goes, come on, dude, you could do a lot worse. And I was like, yeah, I could do a lot better. Like, I don't care. It doesn't matter. What you're saying to me is irrelevant. Do better, do worse. Like, she's hot, she's ugly, like, she's funny, I don't care. I don't want a girlfriend. I'm an immature little brat. Please leave me the fuck alone. Let me like go play sports and fuck off. And then the next day, it was like fucking every single girl in school looked at me like I was a total fucking asshole. Because the story was, I said I could do a lot better. You know, I mean, talk about, that was one of the first times I remember something taking like completely out of context. You know, taking like a one one sentence line out of a paragraph of things that I said, and everyone just looking at me like I was a total dick face. And I remember being like, well, that's not what I fucking said. I didn't say I could do a lot better than her. I said I was just responding to a statement, and then everything get taken out of context. You know what I mean? Like, did I say those words? Yes, but as part of a gigantic summary of things, basically saying like, I could do a lot better. I could do a lot worse. I could do the same. I could date her. I could date somebody else. You know, I just don't want to date anybody. That's what I'm saying. But nobody fucking heard that. All they heard was Max said he could fucking do a lot better than the hell was her name? She was hot. Probably should have dated her. And honestly, like, I was mad at the kid more than anybody else because I was like, I didn't fucking say that, you know? And now you made you made everybody hate me, and that sucks. But you made the girl, I'm sure that hurt the girl's fucking feelings, like, real bad. You know, like, she likes this kid, and then the kid says he could do a lot better than her, or he can do a lot better than you. Like, that's a dick thing to say. And this fucking, the little twerp that was trying to, like, fucking orchestrate the whole thing, this little Iago motherfucker. You know, he twisted everything else. He fucked the whole thing up. So I was so pissed at that kid. But, you know, just like everything else in middle school, it was the height of drama, and then wouldn't you know it, it blew over in about 5 days. So anyway, that's going to do it for this episode of the MaxBang. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Make sure to like the page and subscribe to the channel. It's a brand new channel. And shout out to us. We hit 300 subscribers this week. Bingo bango. Tell your friends. And also let me know if you listen to this, if you'd prefer this as an audio only. Because I can do that relatively easily. I can just whip that out. And let's have a good week. Keep banging.